Hello there and welcome to this SAP Operations Transformation Masterclass, coming to you as part of our Avantra Summit, focused on helping you go further, faster. My name is Brenton O'Callaghan and I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at Avantra. And from wherever and whenever you're joining me today, I thank you for your time, you're very welcome, and I hope you will find this session useful. If you want to view more sessions from the Avantra Summit, please do check out our website at avantra.com. And you can also find this and other videos at our YouTube channel, as well as our Mastering Avantra content to get you started faster. In my role, I get the pleasure of hearing firsthand from our customers and partners about how they are evolving their SAP operations workflows to embrace automation, intelligence, and more. Today, I'll be specifically speaking about the topics and criteria you need to think about when starting or even continuing your journey. Quite frankly, it's not just about the platform, feature sets, and all that stuff. It's not about which software is supported, although that's for sure important. It's about ensuring you end up with a platform that can bring you from manual effort of hours per day to actually being able to recover your time and reinvest it in automation. Gartner have highlighted hyperautomation as a key topic and focus for businesses across the globe, with Fabrizio Biscotti, Gartner's research vice president, saying that hyperautomation has shifted from an option to a condition of survival. Now, SAP automation in itself isn't what Gartner are talking about when they say hyperautomation. And in fact, the answer to hyperautomation is not to focus solely on automating your SAP landscape. So why am I talking about it? In order to realize the hyperautomation imperative, you need time. It's as simple as that. If you or your team are spending hundreds of hours per month on automatable tasks, then that is time not spent on business automation. Put simply, in order to successfully realize the benefits that can be gained through a hyperautomation journey, you need a foundation in place that takes away the drag, a foundation that is that sole purpose is to give you and your team the time you need to focus on creating hyperautomation success. So back to this session. I'll be talking about the 4 key time savers that must be within your foundation if you're to release the time you want. So let's get started. Firstly, there are what I call the basics. There are certain fundamental requirements for any AIOps platform to be successful in your landscape. At a minimum, you want an out-of-the-box experience that does a significant amount of the observational hard work for you. So these basics are about the minimum viable AIOps platform that you should look for in your selection. The first of these is out-of-the-box observation across the stack. The signals that highlight the health of your landscape cannot all come from within your application. You have to take a much more full picture into account. This means knowing what is happening at the operating system level, what is happening at the network level, all the way through to what is happening at the application level. At a minimum, your chosen platform should be bringing you insights and observation-based intelligence from top to bottom. The second item is cloud integration. Now, if this doesn't relate to you, then I'm a little surprised, and you can fast forward about 60 seconds if you want. But I have yet to come across a customer that doesn't have some portion of their environment in the cloud. And it's usually across multiple clouds. Your platform should be capable of bringing you that hybrid environment visibility, or single pane of glass, no matter where your landscape extends to. On-prem, cloud, SaaS, doesn't matter. Next, I would look for some level of intelligence built in. Now, this doesn't have to be full neural net and self-learning Skynet style intelligence, but at least needs to be capable of intelligently discounting false alerts. Those false alerts that I know operations folks love getting at about 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Let me give you a simple example. You want a platform that sees a CPU spike go over the threshold at 2 a.m., but not wake up the on-call agent because it happens every single Sunday while the backups are being processed. That is a level of intelligence that has a seriously positive impact on your people. My second last basic feature, as I call them, is one of my favorites, and that is integration. Your operations foundation cannot operate on its own in a silo, and so must be capable of flexibly supporting a wide variety of third-party systems for topics like notifications. Can you send a note to Slack as an example? Can you page somebody through a caller system like PagerDuty? And also for other areas like cloud automation with hyperscalers and on-premise virtualization engines. Playing nicely with other systems is an imperative for your operations foundation. And my final basic one is scalability. Can the platform support your planned and future growth easily? How can it shorten the time from a brand new system to a fully operational application through automated security hardening, as an example, and so much more? So that's my part one of the 4, the basics. Make sure you have full stack observation capability. Make sure that it's cloud and on-premise integratable. Make sure there's a certain amount of intelligence built in to reduce those false positives. Make sure it has the flexibility to integrate with any required third-party system now, but also in the future. And finally, can it scale with you? Can it grow with your business? Let's move on to part 2. Our second consideration point is all about your current landscape structure and the applications within it. I've been working in the SAP industry for over a decade, with quite a lot of that time, I hate to say, as a consultant. And I can say with certainty that each landscape is different, and they're all unique. And the notion that companies have wall-to-wall SAP with little else, it's a myth. In the majority of cases, there are a significant number of supporting and integrated third-party and in-house applications that are critical pieces of your business landscape, and you cannot forget about these. Being SAP-led in your platform is brilliant, and it's a great North Star. Out-of-the-box best practice automation is a must, with support for the majority of SAP's on-premise and cloud software. But you should also pay attention to the support for other applications, and whether you can extend your platform to match your business requirements. What you want to avoid here is the selection of a different platform for every different application. With the topic of platform rationalization and consolidation top of mind for any savvy CIO, the selection of an AIOps platform that has SAP as a North Star, but brings the flexibility to turn its hand to anything in your landscape, is a significant positive when the goal is to sweat your assets and get as much as you possibly can from your foundation investment. One of our customers in the manufacturing industry here at Avantra was able to not only automate their daily SAP operations activities, which saved them measurable hours per day, mind you, but they also used the platform to manage in-house and third-party applications connected with their manufacturing production lines. The combination of the core SAP systems and these non-SAP applications all being managed and automated by one platform from operating system through to application brought huge reductions in unnecessary downtime and also allowed for a single view of the health of every technical system that made up this critical business process. The key takeaway from this section is to ensure you don't simply consider an AIOps platform capability solely based on SAP. It's worth ensuring that the platform will give you the ability to flex and grow with your landscape and not restrict or prevent you from bringing logical groups of business critical systems together under one management and automation platform. So that's part 2. For part 3, let's move on to flexibility and extensibility. And this section is more about what you can do with your chosen platform rather than about what applications are supported. A good AIOps platform brings a significant amount of automation out of the box. In SAP terms, these are things like daily checks and a library of real-time monitoring to give you instant visibility into the health of your systems and the applications on those systems. These are the day one activities that reduce downtime and give you an immediate time saving that you can use for other things. But, as I said earlier, each and every landscape is unique, and therefore having the flexibility to extend beyond the out-of-the-box automations is critical to really getting the most out of your investment. That all sounds obvious, right? But there's a secondary point. It needs to be extensible in an easy way so that your teams on the ground, who, let's face it, are not coders, can be empowered to bring automations to the platform that make their own lives easier. I'm talking about extensibility in 2 ways. Firstly, for your non-coders, bring them low-code or no-code capabilities. Simple things like wanting to always verify that a file exists or doesn't, or contains the phrase error, whatever the case may be. Those kind of automations should be easy and quick for anybody to add. In this way, your SAP operations experts are suddenly able to produce impactful collections of automations that will free up time for strategic work. Secondly, for your in-house automation experts, your chosen platform should allow them to really harness the power of the platform using whatever method they choose. In contrast to your no-code capabilities or low-code capabilities, expert mode, for want of a better term, should allow them to really create powerful and complex business-relevant automations that can reimagine your operations experience. One of our customers, Absoft, a mid-size managed services provider based in Aberdeen, Scotland, have done exactly this, where they have adopted an automation-first mindset in everything they do for their customer landscapes. And they regularly review their incoming customer requests to ask whether it was or should have been an automated scenario. They also do a fantastic job at identifying when even small portions of a largely manual task could be automated to save time. By doing this, Absoft are recovering nearly 50% of support time to allow for more proactive and business strategic customer engagements, including creating new business streams and so much more. The final section I want to talk about today is automation for larger and semi-frequent activities. In the SAP world, this would be topics like kernel upgrades or system refreshes. These tasks come up a few times a year and typically require senior resources to analyze what is needed, develop the runbooks, test the runbooks, and then either hand off that runbook to a more junior resource or execute it themselves. Your AIOps platform of choice should help you take a serious chunk out of the time spent in those scenarios. Let's take a kernel upgrade. All going well on one system, and depending on how recently you've performed a kernel upgrade, they can take anywhere from 45 to 90 minutes per system. In a 10-system landscape, that's over 150 hours or several weeks of work, and all performed by a fairly senior resource. Now, imagine if your AIOps foundation allowed for this to be completed in a single-digit set of minutes by a more junior resource, with senior folks only having to get involved if something goes amiss, or to verify that the work was completed correctly. That can release hundreds of hours per quarter for more strategic work that, let's face it, they themselves would probably enjoy far more than performing a monotonous and non-value add task like a kernel upgrade. Okay, that's a very specific scenario, but the principle remains true. Whether it be utilizing out-of-the-box automations or building your own, there should be a capability to hand off these sizable pieces of automated work and release them from your consciousness and from the consciousness of the senior folks who are then free to help you create competitive advantage, either through the design and creation of other automations or something else. If you get a chance, I highly recommend checking out my session with Bernd Engest, our CTO, on our latest out-of-the-box automations and innovations to find out more. We cover topics like system refresh, profile parameter setting, and so much more. You can find it on Avantra.com or on our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's bring this back to the topic at hand. What are the key items you should strongly analyze when considering an AIOps foundation to help you go further, faster, and, as Gartner have said, embrace the imperative that is the pursuit of hyperautomation? And for me, there are 4 key items to consider. Firstly, make sure it has a great set of what I call the basics. That's the full stack observation, the cloud and on-premise integration, intelligence built in to reduce those false positives, the flexibility to integrate with any third-party system, current or future, and finally, has the ability to scale with you and your business. Secondly, check how it fits for your landscape structure and applications, ensuring the platform will give you the ability to flex and grow with your landscape and not restrict you or prevent you from bringing logical groups of business critical systems together under one management platform. Thirdly, ensuring it can bring the flexibility and extensibility that you will need, from low-code or no-code capabilities for your non-coders to truly powerful code-based implementations for your automation experts. And finally, ensure that it brings the automation of some of those semi-regular but time-consuming tasks, such as upgrades, refreshes, and the one I didn't talk about, operating system patching. That then allows you to confidently put these automations in the hands of more junior resources, or forget about them altogether and just have them running in the background. Above all else, approach your platform selection with 2 words in mind: create and time. Your selection should enable you to consistently create time for your team to innovate and fast track you on the journey to hyperautomation. Thank you for joining me today, and good luck.